And we are live.
What it do? What it do? What it do? Now, yo, I ain't gonna lie, yo. I was waiting for this show today. Like, I don't
Oh,
know. Lately, I've been super excited to get here and talk to you guys. Jessica, how was your weekend, first of all?
it was peaceful. I did a 2.5 mile trail, 5 miles altogether in Massanutten. Didn't see the sign aware of bears, but took the hike
Wait, did
anyway.
you say
Luckily, made it safe.
there was a sign that said "Beware of bears"?
Yeah,
Oh
black bears
no!
frequent area. I'm gonna
Now,
post it today sometime. I just haven't posted my stuff, but
now, Master
interesting hike.
it's a predominantly black vacation spot, right?
Massanutten.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. But how many black
Now
people
that's,
really go on hiking through the mountains in the woods?
yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, what was that had to be quite an adventure. You know,
Yeah,
the last time I went hiking, I can't even remember. I had to be a kid though.
it was fun. It was definitely fun. My hiking partner got tired, which was funny. So yeah, it was fun.
So he's a real stoner.
Yeah.
Well, then I would take it that he's a man after my own heart because I would have gotten extremely tired too. How far was this hike? Like how long was this hike if you had to put
It,
it on, I guess, miles?
I mean, there and back, it was like 5 miles. I want to say four. I don't think it was that long. But it was like we were going down a mountain, up a mountain, around the mountain, down a mountain. It wasn't like a straight hike, so we had to step on rocks and in between twigs, and it was
Wow.
fun.
So did you see any bears?
No, unfortunately not.
I mean, you mean fortunately, especially with your hiking
Unfortunately,
partner
that would
being
have been
dead.
great footage. That would have been great footage.
Hey, I could imagine how that footage would have been. You filled with
Oh
energy, your hiking partner gassed, bear.
my god. We took one smoking break and he told me that that was what did it. I said, boy, if you don't smoke and walk,
Well, so with that, I gotta ask, what were y'all smoking on?
I don't even know the name. Honestly, hold on. I'm trying to think. Nope, because I never asked the dude the name of it. And then he got
So,
me some. This ain't got no fucking name either. Whatever this is. Hold on. I don't
let me
know.
see
This
that
was.
look like that Georgia pie pat. No, what's that pat? Some pancakes and syrup. Pancakes.
I don't know what that is.
That's just
Oh,
a branding name.
pancake. Oh, well, it was all right. It's pretty good. I'm about to roll the last little bit of it right now.
But let me tell you, so I found me some Sour Patch Kids.
I had some of that the other day.
Man, I was like,
Yes.
this is amazing. Now, why, why? I was, it's so much that I want to talk about today. I don't know where to start, right? I guess this is a music show. This is a music show. This is where we talk about music and things of that nature. So let's talk about J. Cole drops his new album. And of course, everyone wants to talk about the obvious stuff. How was it? How was it? Did you like it? I don't want to talk about that. That album in the first day did over 24 million streams. Probably been
24
close to,
million streams within the first, what, day?
yes, it hit probably almost a billion streams. It'll probably hit.
And this is the Tupac's album?
No, this is J. Cole's new
Oh,
album.
okay.
The title of the album is Off Season, and it came with a documentary on YouTube, a 12-minute documentary, and it showed the process of really what it takes to go in and how he works and things like that, and how he's really been working on this project for years, you know, and things like
Mhm.
that. And I started to think to myself, I was like, okay, J. Cole is a mega superstar, and here he is. His last album was what 2014, Forest Hill Drive, and he's
Mhm.
been doing a lot of work with his record label Dreamville. His artists are doing a lot of things, touring shows, things like that. And J. Cole has now kind of learned the business on
Mhm.
another level, right?
Okay.
But when I listened to his album, I couldn't help but feel attacked as the little guys listened to the album, right? Now, did I like it? Yes. Did I feel like he was throwing shots at some of the little guys out here? Well, yes, I did. And what was crazy was I like how that J. Cole project brought a lot of people that are not in the industry to judge everyone in the industry, right? Through these lyrics that he chose to put on his album. A lot of them in which he was choosing to expose the rap game and how artists are moving and what's working behind the scenes. And he was, pretty much saying he
I
doesn't
heard
really
he
like.
addressed someone. I can't remember exactly who in the album. Give me a second. I'll get back to it. But someone he called out in particular.
I feel like he called, if I had to take a guess at someone he called out, there was a certain line that stuck into my head when he was saying, you brag about doing 100,000 in your first week now. You brag about having a milli. When I made it cool to be from the city, you should put me on Mount Rushmore. Now, I was thinking to myself, well, who's from North Carolina that always talks about a millie? Huh. I only could think of one person, and that was out of the baby. I don't want to start nothing, but it sounded like a shot at the baby and a lot of the other artists who have what we call the engine behind them, right? Or as
Oh,
as Young Dolph liked to call it last week, the machine,
the machine. Yeah,
right?
we talked about the
Now,
machine.
I've touched on the machine a lot of times, but I really don't touch on the machine because that is really when this show will start to go over people's head. And then you know how that weird thing that happens when we start talking about government and stuff like that and religion? That's
We
what's gonna
start
happen on this.
glitching and shit.
Yeah, we start glitching. So I will not be talking about the machine on this show. Maybe I'll write a book one day about the machine. But what I'll tell you guys is I found it funny that the machine is starting to be exposed. It's starting to be talked about a lot more.
Mhm.
I don't want to
That's
tell y'all why that is. I don't want to put my assumptions on things, right? But let's just play around with this here. Why would J. Cole choose to attack the machine, the very same machine in which he has to utilize and had to utilize with every last one of his own artists on the show? I mean, on his platform that he has to use. Now, I found it funny that J. Cole is being the one to take this stance on it. I do like his stance on being one of the first artists to actually do a whole album by itself, no features and things like that, do his own beats. That was pretty cool. But when you start attacking the machine and when you start attacking the little people, I have to step up for those people. I have to say, because you know what happened when that album dropped and I was sitting there looking at old book. You know what? You all know what old book is. I was looking at old book and it was like, real rap is back. Real rap is alive. Oh, you new rappers, this is it for y'all. This is how rap's supposed to be, and things of that nature. And I mean, I'm like, hey, I like J. Cole as much as the next man, but I said, do y'all really think rap was dead? Did you think
Yep.
hip hop was dead? I mean, the thing I find funny is when you guys were coming up over 80s, 90s, and y'all were in y'all teens and things like that, hip hop was not the number one genre in the world. I mean, I'm not sitting up there saying it wasn't good music. I mean, there was good songs. But
Yeah.
if people was running to the stores to buy music, they were looking for the R&B songs. You
Yeah.
know, they were looking for the pop songs, the pop feels, the good vibe, the dance music, the radio music.
Mhm.
So we talk about evolution a lot, and everything can evolve. I mean, hell, no one still uses a stone for a tire anymore, right? Everyone goes and get little rubber tires and get little nice little Michelin's and Goodyears and whatnot. But yet you expect the rap game to still be on stone tires and be running around the same way. They shouldn't have evolved. If you rap, you shouldn't have evolved, right? Because now you're just a stereotype for your evolution and for what you've done. When I woke up the other day and I looked at this status that said Michael Jackson was a rapper and Drake is a singer.
Let's
And I was
argue.
thinking to myself, someone is really trolling this morning. Now,
You
do
don't
I
think
agree
Michael
that,
Jackson is a rapper?
first of all, hence the
I'm
name
saying
King of Pop. He's a pop artist. See, a pop is that really good, great area where you can throw in some bars, you know what I'm saying, and sing a little bit and be cool, right? It's like making pop music, making music that everybody wants to sing along with. And if you can't rap, you still feel like you got bars, right? Ah, little fruity peppers, little fruity
yeah,
pepper rice
pretty.
crispy cheetah. But that's what they all about, right? That's what it's all about. So when you look at artists like Drake, who I agree he is a singer, you know, and I look at artists like Roddy Rich or wherever he is, he's like a singer, you know what I'm saying? But I still look at artists like Bone Thugs and Harmony. You know, I mean, they had a little note, they had a little tone, a little key. But yet, I don't hear anybody on Old Book going back and saying they're singers. You know, like things like that. And this theory that music is judged because we all sound the same. Well, didn't Bone Thugs and Harmony sound like Do or Die? I
Hmm?
mean, and if you turned on Fight the Power or Fuck the Police, if I don't know that those are two different groups, I think that was just one long song. I mean, come on. I mean, these are all. I mean, did they not sound the same? Did they not push the same agenda? I mean, like this whole concept that the wheel has been reinvented for the worse is interesting to me. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm listening to J. Cole's album, and I'm listening to him talk about how all these artists are this and all these artists are using this and doing this behind the scenes. And I'm like, well, what do you think was done to make you who you are, J. Cole?
Who's he signed with?
Well, he is actually signed with Columbia Records.
Hmm.
His first deal was with Rock Nation, and it's an interesting story about J. Cole that I'm sure a lot of people don't know unless you really pay attention to J. Cole and listen to interviews. But J. Cole talks about when he first got his deal with Jay Z. He felt like it was going to be the biggest moment in his life. It was going to be an immediate change. Now, like I told everybody before, all you people that like to call Jay Z the GOAT, Jay Z is the GOAT. Of look it out for Jay Z. Jay Z understood the biggest the biggest hustle is music business. You know what I'm saying? And he understands the big bosses, how the big bosses move. So when he's signing these artists, of course he wants them to make a lot of money. But y'all gotta realize something. Look at all of Jay Z's artists. They don't even really want to do music no more. I mean, like
Q.
he made LL Cool J up and retire from rapping. You know, like, because Jay Z understood what a lot of people didn't understand first: ownership. So when he was working out, while they were all working out how to get their music out, he was working out how to own everybody's shit. So of course, when he signed J. Cole, he gave him a little budget, and J. Cole signed with him, and he's like, "Yes, I'm going to the studio." He walks in the studio, and as he's walking to his studio, he hears beats coming out of one room, and in that room is Kanye West. So J. Cole, he goes and does what all of us would do if we meet Kanye West. We introduce ourselves. He says, "Hi, I'm J. Cole. I just signed to Rock Nation. I'm a new artist." He said Kanye West's question was, "What's your budget?" He told him it was about, I think he said 200,000 at the time. That was how much his advance was,
I
200,000.
remember. Hmm.
Kanye told him, "This is the $1 million studio," and escort had him shoot him away. Goodbye. Thank you. All right. So I think that was his real life. That's the real life first experience of J. Cole's understanding of the business, right? But now you got all these projects you're trying to get out, and then woo woo woo. Years later, Jay Z finally lets you out and heads you on over to Columbia, and that looks really good. You know, that looks really good. So now you're doing your thing. You drop your Full Sail Drive. It's one of the biggest albums out, and now you're J. Cole. J. Cole has got to be one of the most interesting artists of my lifetime. I don't know about anyone else's lifetime, and you guys may know someone more eccentric and more chill out and laid back. But J. Cole made a decision that he wanted to play professional basketball. So I'm guessing while we were not getting an album from J. Cole, while he was waiting to give us this off-season album, he was working on making it to the NBA. However, he made it to a league called the PBYL. It's still professional basketball, but it's in Africa. Now, I gotta tell everybody, I thought that they said he was playing for Wakanda. So I immediately tuned in. But it was actually Rwanda he was playing for. And come to find out,
I can't stand
those
you.
are that's what the hotel was. Remember that movie Hotel Rwanda?
Yeah.
So like when I seen I tuned in and I'm looking at this game because I'm like, wow, J. Cole playing for Wakanda in Africa. This is about to be lit. And he's actually playing for Rwanda. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, wait a minute, why does J. Cole's freaking hair and look like that in his picture? Why 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 is he why is he why is he dressed like that? And why is J. Cole looking like he doesn't belong out there? You know, like
Hold on. So
what's
let me
going
back
on?
you up, right? Let me just back you up right quick. So there's pro, which is the
Hmm.
NBA. Then there's semi pro, which is whatever overseas. And then there's the African League.
So I think that whatever is overseas is all the same league, but there's
Okay.
like probably like thousands of leagues for basketball. Basketball is one of the American sports is really international. It's like soccer almost, but not as popular, right? It's like
Okay.
everybody can play it, but they changed the rules a little bit to cater to that. I guess that area is I want to say skill set for real, because like some of the leagues the balls are different, some of the leagues the rims are different, The 3-point line is a little different. It's all weird. Like rules change. Some of the players that come to the NBA are picked from some of those different leagues. So it's like all auditioning to try to get into the NBA because that's where the money is. However, the untaxed money is overseas. So I
Uh,
mean, it's a real good split money grab. Like some players have left the NBA to go over to play overseas with like a guaranteed $2 million, $9 million a year. You know what I'm saying? And it's untaxed. I think when Kobe played, he was making like $9 million, and he only played like 4 games, and it was just a free $9 million because he only
that's a
played four
quick come
games.
up, ain't it?
Yeah, especially if you was Kobe. Stephon Marbury went over to China and he became a superstar. You know, I was thinking to myself as I was watching him, what if? Remember when Master P tried out for the NBA and he played in some NBA? Well, didn't play in an NBA game, but he did actually get into an NBA uniform and hit some preseason time, maybe or whatever the case may be. And I was looking at J. Cole and I'm like, listen, we all should chase our dreams.
Where you go with this six?
No, listen, like let's just say that. I just want to say that. I just want to say that before I continue. You know what I'm saying? We all should chase our dreams. Like as I looked at J. Cole out there, and I'm like, okay, he's a little over 30 now. You know, he's not really played any professional sports or any sports that we've seen besides like pickup games.
Mhm,
Well, if he's been doing music since let's say the last 10 years, 15 years,
mhm.
he's been really just like focusing on music and now he's just up there in the league. And I'm like, man, wow, it's really great. Like, you drop an album and you're pretty much like you're dogging everybody in the game. Like, you went ham on the album, but it was a great piece of work too, might I add. But then you jump into this league here, and you really not ready. Don't look ready yet. It doesn't look like you don't look like you're ready for the NBA. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't really matter because it's not the NBA, and you're gonna get a check anyway. You're making precedented history, and I'm like, man, we can do anything we want to do, people. We got to follow our dream. Like, what stops that guy from saying, I don't want to focus on this anymore. I want to focus on this. And then go straight forward and make it happen. Determination,
Yeah,
will.
facts. Willpower.
Now, y'all know the
Bitch.
crazy here? I'm like, man, this dude got so much willpower, but his stunt ability is zero. I mean,
His his what is zero?
his, his stunt ability, his stunt score, his
Oh,
swag alert, his
uh-huh.
meter of how to be a street heater is off, right? I mean, do you see some of the style that he wears? Let me show y'all this man. I mean, like, I couldn't believe the style that he wear, but when I saw this, and I posted on my page, everyone went crazy, like, oh, what's your stat line like? That's what they said to me. They said, what's your stat line like? And all that stuff, right? Now, I saw this, and I said to myself, is is this a is this the fucking CEO of a record label? Is this the boss of Dreamville Records up here looking like he needs this gig? I mean, where's dignity, man? Get your things tightened up. Shake that beard up. Shake that forehead, top head up, or whatever, man. Get out there and look like a star, man. If you try to
But
get to
I
the
mean,
NBA,
why does he
no,
have to do all of that?
no excuse. No excuse. Because the NBA does not accept anything less than that. You know what I'm saying?
Huh?
Yes, he was definitely cooking. One of my man said he's brought that to play defense. But this this is where the NBA and things like the NFL and things like the music industry This is where a lot of people go crazy, right? Marketing, marketability. Look, do y'all realize that the WNBA is starting to step up their game with the athletes they're drafting and how they're coming to the games and pre-game and how they're dressing and how they're approaching themselves on social media? Remember, we
Mm,
used to get like all the like "I'm gonna beat your ass" type girls that look like they play basketball.
Butch, all the Butch girls.
Yeah, like all of them. They just looked like they was ready to be playing with each other after the game. You know what I'm saying? It didn't look like they was interested in no guys. But now you got these new women that try to change the way everything is marketed because that's how we make money. That's how we do things. Now, J. Cole took a different route. It doesn't matter how you look as long as you handle your business. And like I be telling everybody every week on this platform, right? Because I want to go ahead and get to where I'm going with this. If you handling your business, you can do whatever you want, look however you want, say whatever you want, move however you want, because he may not have needed the record labels anymore because he created his own record label. But he did need that record label to be able to be in position to have his own record label and call those shots. Because without the works of Jay Z and Columbia Records, there would be no reason for anyone to even care what J. Cole was talking about because they actually did all that corny stuff that J. Cole talks about and this is, they actually
Mm,
did that work. They actually put in that work for him to be that. And now he actually has a lot of artists where he's in a position where even if J. Cole doesn't work, he's gonna still eat for the rest of his life because that's what he learned. Ownership. From who? Jay-Z.
mm.
Now he owns Dreamville and every artist music on there. How many artists he got? About 9 or 10? That's enough to bring in a couple million a quarter, guys. So I mean like we get all sidetracked, we get all entertained by the things that I say and things like that, and we really don't look into the depths of how things work in this world. Because like I look at J. Cole, I'm like, man, this dude dropped the album, and the album was pretty good, pretty good. It made me feel good because I have my album dropping on June 6th. That's a plug. And with my album dropping on June 6th, I definitely want y'all to tune into it, listen to it, and give y'all take on like I give my take on everybody's music right now. But just I want to go into something that's very crazy right now, Jezebel, right? Because this has been coming up across my social media a lot. And of course, I've got a phone calls and text messages about it, right? So, have you been up on the Joe Budden situation?
Yeah and no.
Yeah.
It's just different perspectives. But I'll let you go ahead and lead, and then I'll just give you my feedback on what I've seen and what I've heard.
So Joe Budden is in a dispute with his cast, and he's in the process of recasting. The dispute is allegedly, well, we kind of can say apparently, but it's allegedly over money and things of
Allegedly.
that nature. Now, they say that there was a price they was agreed to be paid, which was a certain percentage or whatever things that he gained. However, they feel like they're also a major part of the success of the show. So they want to know exactly what's coming in to make sure that they're not agreeing to what it was when they first started and they could be getting more now. Now, that is where the feud starts.
But
So,
I
of
think
course,
that should be fair.
listen, like, the thing, this isn't the beauty about that situation is I'm glad that you say that, right?
Um,
However, this isn't a fair or unfair situation or world that we live in. right?
Okay. But when it comes
So
to,
then,
okay, so with the business, what you just explained is basically going in, they didn't think the podcast was going to do as well as it's doing right now. So they signed a contractual agreement to whatever
yeah,
percentages that you see. Okay.
yeah,
Now the show blows up, right? Now all types of sponsorships or whatever is coming in, they're getting more money. So now they're
yeah,
looking at it like, hey, now that more money is coming in, our percentage should be more.
correct.
Um, I agree up until the fact of what was put in. So another
Now,
perspective
let
I
me go ahead.
is building the podcast, all that it took to build it. What did everyone put in? Because when everyone puts in equal, everyone is due equal. So what I heard was basically, I forgot how Joe Budden said it, but he was like, "What you bring to the pie is what you're going to eat," kind of, sort
Yeah, and that's amazing because, of course, we're not gonna. A lot of people want to act like they didn't watch the show because it was the Joe Budden show, right?
of.
You watched the show because it was the Joe Budden show. He brought that same. He brought a certain energy after his show on Complex. You know that when he left Complex, everyone was curious to see what Joe Budden was going to do next.
Mm-hmm.
But that's me trying to explain to those guys or the world that situation in the real spectrum when that doesn't matter either, right? Because, like we said, they agreed to something, and they Joe Budden, I think he said in the interview that he was under the idea that they were friends, and when the main one in question started to act as if we're not friends, we're not friends, started to express that we're not friends, he had
Rory,
to, yeah, Rory, he had to reassess how he was looking at things. Now, a lot of people don't know what it takes to go behind the scenes of a radio show. You know,
mm-hmm.
they don't know what it takes to go behind the scenes of just a basic little internet thing. You know, so that you're talking about a podcast that's broadcast to people on a main stage like Revolve and stuff like that. You start thinking to yourself, okay, there's a lot of stuff that has to go into the back end. There's a lot of contracts. There's a lot of paperwork that's put in, you know. And when I thought about that situation, because people ask me, "Yo, Six, what do you think? What do you think?" Don't you think? Someone said, "Don't you think that that's kind of messed up? Like, what if you were in that situation? How would you act?" And I said, "Well, I would never be in that situation." What do you
Right.
mean, Sid? I said, well, because if they say that they were getting paid what they agreed on, but now they feel like it should be more, then the problem isn't Joe Budden. The problem is them. Because I'm not gonna I'm not gonna agree on something and then watch the evolution of it and the pockets of it. Because I don't know what goes behind the scenes of the evolution of it and the process of that. Now, let's just say I have the knowledge that I do know what goes on behind the scenes and the knowledge of it, or I think I have an idea of the knowledge and what goes on behind the scenes. I still have to understand there's a time, there's a place, and there's room for everything. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? That's that show allotted them also a platform to do exactly what Joe Budden was doing on their own level. I don't know if there was a contract said they had to or whatever. I don't know the terms of their contract, but from what I do here, if it's a contract that says that we feel like we deserve more money as opposed to we're not getting any money, then when I hear that, I'm like, hold on, he doing he said he gonna pay y'all. You know, like I don't know what people were
I
making beforehand
I
either.
agree. I agree to disagree, right? Because 10% of 1,000 is $100, right?
Right.
So let's say that's all you was getting at first. Well, now that then up to 10,000. Should you still only get $100, or should you now get $1,000 because the benefits increase? That's where it gets sticky for
But
me.
see
Like,
that
if that's the case, then Joe Budden is wrong. You know what I'm saying? As the money increases, your percentages should increase. Not saying it should go from 10% to 20%, but that $100 from 1,000 should now be 1,000 from 10,000. It should no longer
correct.
continue to be 100, regardless of the situation. I believe in fairness
Listen, like
across all boards.
the only way that I can, I agree with that, but the only way that I can see that being done is if you sign the contract saying I'm getting 10% of $1,000,
Okay.
or like if your contract says we get 10% of earned revenue,
Mm.
and you don't know what earned revenue is, then you're not paying attention.
Okay.
I
Facts.
mean, like because if we do a show together, my contract is 10%. Um, it's already public records. This show just
Hmm.
got a deal for $1 million. That's 30,000 per episode. Okay, you just feel
Yeah.
like these things that are like public that are records that all you gotta do is walk into your man. Hey, how much you get a show? 30,000 a show. Okay, cool. 10% of that, man. You know what I'm saying? Now to find out that there's a new deal in the works and people are gonna be making more money, it doesn't matter at that point because you're a little 10%. Now, if they're saying no, we deserve 20% because our names are on the thing, and we deserve thirty
Yeah.
percent because of this. It's like because now we're a part, we're as big as this show, so that should be a thirds. You know what I'm saying? It's like, wait a minute. You know what I'm saying? Like, chill out a second,
Yeah.
guys. First of all, you already said you ain't my friend, so this is a business. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And,
Hmm.
and, and like I said to start off the piece, y'all only here because it's the Joe Budden show. And people were going to follow Joe Budden after he got into his beef with the Migos. He was popular enough to see what is he going to say next. You know,
Hmm.
I mean, he's on Love and Hip Hop. I don't know those other guys. They're cool. They're cool on the show. You know, but what that did was Jezebel that opened up my eyes to some crazy, crazy shit in this world, man.
Hmm.
You know, it's like friends, business. Have I been in situations like that where I've been working with my friends and I feel like I got the short end of the stick? Of course. But I always like to focus on the whys. Why do
Hmm.
I do things, right? Now, if my whys are in order and I've dotted all those I's and crossed all those T's, whatever my umbrella is doing is just keeping me dry so that
Hmm.
I can move how I need to move.
Right.
So as long as your umbrella is keeping you dry, there's no reason to cry. And you grab the umbrella that you use when it's raining, right? There's no magical umbrella that pops over your head. You have to pick it up. What I mean by that is you pick the team that you choose to use. You pick the
Hmm.
guys, you pick the crew, you pick the people that you choose to work for and how you choose to like make your ducats. But as long as they're doing what your goals are, I mean, look, if you go into a job and say, I want to work until I get enough money to start my business, and you get sidetracked and you don't never start your business, it's no one's fault if you hate your job but your own. Because that's not even why you're supposed to be there.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, you said you had to go. You got off the go.
Well,
Now,
also, allegedly, um, it was word on the street is that Joe Budden and DJ Academics have been becoming cool. So DJ Academics allegedly talks trash about Rory and Mal, and they're displeased with Joe Budden's new formed relationship with DJ Academics because in the past, he has not been so favorable of DJ Academic. So, it seems to be a lot going on there on top of the money that's
Yeah.
probably, stirring up some shit over there. But
Well, we know Joe Button been that way since he. And when DJ Academics his boss on that show,
hmm,
wasn't DJ Academics his boss on that other show on Complex?
I don't remember. I don't know. I don't know too much about
DJ
DJ.
Academics,
All
some
I know about
girl.
him, all I know about him is that he's cool with Takashi. That's it.
Who is?
DJ Academic.
Oh, you know what? Like, yeah, I like. It's funny because Academics is one of those people that I try not to talk about, and I hope that he never talks about me. I would hate to be. Let me wait a minute. Let me get some. Here you go, man. Let me see, nigga. Let me tell you about this guy here. I don't want to hear it, man. Like, I'm over him. I'm over him. Hey, Jezebel. But that's not the craziest thing I heard all weekend, though.
It wasn't. It seems like I decided to put on this friend shirt because it seems like a lot of friendships have been kind of rocked
Going out.
these past couple of weeks. Now, are friends off limits, or are
Oh,
friends husbands off limits, or are
man.
friends ex-husbands off limits? I think friends' husbands are definitely off limits, but let's talk about friends' ex-husbands.
Ah, see, now.
And what is a friend these days now? I mean,
Exactly. Because coworkers are now on reality TV as if they are friends.
yeah, but they're not.
But they
So
really
let's
just
talk
coworkers.
about it. Let's
Now,
talk about it.
Portia
So,
Williams has Portia Williams has definitely got the internet in an uproar as she decided to get engaged before the divorce ink is even dried. Some
mm,
say that I don't know how true this is, but they say that she's even wearing the former wife's engagement ring.
and is allegedly pregnant.
Man,
So there's many issues when it comes to this situation, but then there's also for me, um, where I can see how this could happen. So Portia would be wrong if
yeah,
that girl indeed was her friend. If she met that woman's husband after meeting her, right? But let's say Portia met Simon through Dennis, her baby daddy, and then later met Fallon. Like, she doesn't owe that girl anything. Yes, it's wrong. They were in each other's houses, whoop de whoop de whoop, but she really doesn't owe that woman anything at all.
now
So,
let me play devil's advocate. And guys, first of all, I already announced it. Let me play devil's advocate. All right, so y'all don't crucify me. But let's say that the reason why they're getting a divorce is because she was a shitty wife, cheating, fucking around, doing all types of random shit. Doesn't matter if she was a friend or not. If she saw her friend drop the ball on a good dude.
yes, it does. Because if one of my friends was dating somebody, I don't care how she dogged him out, I'm not gonna feel sorry enough for him to want to date him or want to be with him or want to treat him better than she's treating him. I mean, that's none
Well,
of
I
my
mean,
business.
what if it's his law of attraction that is attracted to you because he sees that you're better than she was. I mean, y'all just friends, y'all not sisters.
And that has happened before. And I still would not be inclined or interested in nothing that my friends have touched. I mean,
So look, this is interesting because I know so well. Is it better to lose love and keep a friend, or to have your friends, or to have love and lose your friends?
So are you what? Are you so basically you're saying if Portia fell in love with Simon, should she have and her and Fallon was friends, should she have given up on love and just stayed friends with the girl? I mean with the woman. Or should she have done what she did and said, fuck you, bitch.
Right,
Off
right,
with your man.
right, right. What would have been the other alternative? Him walking around knowing that he could give her all of this as she needed it. I mean, listen. First of all, this is it's a whole nother topic because women are out of order, right? And I have to ask you, do you agree with that saying? Because that is the saying that is from the great Kevin Samuels. Women are out of order. And before you answer, was that not a man move that Portia pulled? Because I've seen men do that all the time.
um, I mean, it all depends. I mean, to me, it depends on the basis of the friendship. But
It does depend. It depends on the basis of the friendship is a fact. But I'm
honestly,
telling you,
me, if you was in my house, right? If you was in my house and you knew this was my husband, and but see, that's what we don't know. We don't know if they was happily married or if they was separate. We don't know what the fuck was going on.
right,
But let's say we was not as together as we should be, and you end up sleeping with this woman that was in my house. Yes, I would feel some type of way, and I would want to fight her because I would feel like she was disrespecting me. But fighting her wouldn't change anything. It'd just make me feel better. But I'm just
yeah, I
saying
mean, like
because
Tyler should just disclose all his dirty secrets. She should give us all his dirty information. Cash app us off on his phone.
yeah, but he's
But
worth $40 million. So
that was me playing devil's advocate. That was me playing
allegedly,
devil's advocate.
allegedly he's worth $40 million. So that right there could
That's
be
40
a
million reasons to say fuck your friend.
bitch. You one of I do.
Now, like
Fuck,
it's
pass
crazy
over
because
it.
like me being
That's,
married, that is a fear of mine that me and my wife split up and like she ends up with like someone that I know, let
mhm,
alone a friend of mine. That'd be so weird. I've actually seen that happen, and
mhm.
like, wow, you know what I'm saying? That's like one of the weirdest things to see. Like, it's crazy.
Now,
But
how do you think her baby daddy, as a man, like how do you think her baby daddy is coping with that? His coworker, your baby mother or significant, your ex fiance is now possibly pregnant and getting ready to marry your coworker, which you introduced her to.
yeah, I mean, like, it's funny when it's funny because they work for a company called the Hot Dog Man. So it's quite interesting that the Hot Dog Men have both impregnated the same woman. And that's something that they'll be able to talk about at work around all those hot dogs. But what was even more interesting is that Dennis has had plenty opportunities, and I don't understand how you did not see that coming. Like that's kind of wow. So I don't know how I would feel if it's my coworker to something that we both own. That's uh that's a tough one. But if it's my coworkers or something that we both work for, then we both are going to be looking for new jobs because fighting at the office is for both people to get fired on. And he's going to have to see me Monday morning at the water cooler. You know, he's going to have to see me. I'm like, hey, what's up, Simon? How was your weekend? And then dog is at. But, that's just how it has to go. Especially if we at work together, we're gonna have a party, you know. And when they come in and be like, yo, six and Simon, what the hell is going on here? Like you fucking know. You know what's going on in here. You know what
Now,
time
what
it
if
is.
she is? Now, what if she is pregnant? And what if
I
she
tell you,
did start messing with Simon before the girl found out?
girl, I tell you
Like
what,
that
I
would
can't
be
wait for next season.
ultimately fucked up.
I can't wait for next season. I'm already ready for next season just because of this alone.
Mm.
I wasn't even like I don't want people to think that I watch it every day because I don't. But what I do is I catch up on it. You know, I may catch 3 episodes and then on to something else. Wait for the next week. You know. But I am an avid watcher of the shows, man, and I'm trying to tell you, Ratchet TV at its finest, man. And like
Mhm.
women are cutting up. Women are the new guys because why are women proposing now? What is
There's a
happening, women?
shortage. There's a shortage of black men or shortage of
Don't say
men.
that. No, it's not.
There is. There's three women to each man. So women are like desperately thirsty nowadays. I've seen it. Like
But
women will
like,
literally do anything to keep a man or take someone
it's
else's man. Literally, and won't even
man.
want you to leave. They will keep themselves a secret. Let's talk about it. There is trifling ass bitches out here that will keep themselves a fucking secret just so they can share your man with you. Like
Man,
they don't even want him for themselves. They just want a piece of him. Little trifling assholes.
yeah, and let me tell you what's sad about that, right? I'm seeing that. It's sad because is it the guy's fault or the women's fault or both parties' fault?
To me,
But
it's the
whoever
women's fault.
I was gonna say that too. I was gonna say that too because like everybody do what they're allowed. But now I'm just like in this world where why are women getting so desperate to point where they're willing to propose to men that are obviously not ready to get married, but then putting people in the system, twerking all day long online, going ham, acting like men, and then I have the audacity to start proposing. Like men are supposed to just because you want to act like a man, we're supposed to now act like the woman.
Well, a lot of men are acting like women nowadays, so it's I guess that's giving the women the okay to, with the reverse roles, with everything that's going on in society. I mean, there is no gender identity anymore.
I'm
Men,
just
there's
telling
no
you,
such thing as being a man, or there's no such thing as being a woman anymore. Like you're just being. So what I'm seeing is a lot of males or people with penises are now acting, you know, feminized. They want to be taken
yes,
out on dates
it's called
nowadays.
domesticated.
They want to be taken out on dates. They want the women to pay most of the bills. Yeah, they want to be.
Now, let me clarify the men want women to pay most of the bills, right? Men do not want women to pay most of the bills. Men want women to hold them down until they're in position to pay the bills. And only
I agree with that part, but no, I'm saying like going in, men like it's a like especially dating out here. It's a lot of men that have these expectations, like, oh no, you gotta have this as a woman, and basically, I'm just support your cheerleader. Like men no
yeah,
longer want have the thrive to want to be a financial benefit or just what we were considered manly duties back in the day. Like it is no more because of the gender wars that's going on. So that's all I'm
and
saying.
well, like the sad thing is, it is a gender war, but society puts that war against us because if a man needs to make 40K a year, he has to go out and get a certificate. He has to go out and hit the pavement, find jobs, and apply self. If a woman wants to make 40K a year, she has to turn on her smartphone and put on a thong. So when a damn the
Sick.
society makes it. Well, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Look, yeah, listen, listen, listen. it's crazy because my brother used to have this saying, right? We would ride by and he would see homeless people. He would always give the homeless men money, you know, no matter what. He see a homeless man, he give him money. Homeless woman, I ain't giving her no fucking money. I'm like, oh, why, bruh? She got a pussy between her legs. If she ain't out there making money, that's her fucking fault. I'm like, damn. He said, nah, bruh. Nah, you gotta think about it. They ain't gotta do shit to get a dollar down. All they gotta do is shake their ass and they getting money. So it's not that men are sitting there, women out there to shake their ass. They realize that in the workplace too. Their boss is the woman that may dress a little different, or may come in early and make cupcakes and happily all shit, and got that funny voice and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And it's cool. We get it, but it's like, why fight? If they why fight? Now listen. I promise you, record it. Because I think this: every man that accepts a proposal from a woman and within the first 3 years will be complaining that she don't take them seriously, that she don't respect them. Because
I
man,
don't understand the scenario why a woman would want to propose to a man. Now, I'm thinking it's because she wants this in particular man and she just feels like he won't do it, so she let her just get it over with. Is that kind of what you think is going on? I'm kind of.
I think it's a trust issue. I think it's a trust issue.
It's a
I think
what?
that it's a trust issue
Oh,
when a
okay.
female proposes to a man. And I don't think that a female proposes to a man when she thinks he's ready. I think she proposes to a man when she thinks she's going to lose him, and she wants to try to be. That's an act of desperation
You think
to
so?
me. To me, you know,
I
when
don't.
I see a woman get down on her knee and say, "Will you marry me?" I'm like, "Oh, she desperate."
Ladies, do y'all hear that?
Like,
I
I'm
mean,
like,
but with the society that we live in, and let's go back to there no longer any gender roles. I mean, what's wrong with a woman getting down on her knees and proposing to a man?
all right. So look, this is where I'm gonna go with the
I
next
wouldn't do
woman that
that.
gets the next woman that I see get down on her knee and propose. She better get that man a rock because they go and giving him just a little solid little joint, the little solid ring. That 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 that's not doing it all the way. That's being tacky. Just because you get down on your knee. If I don't, I want to see a rock when y'all propose to these men. A rock. You want to be a man? You go to the store. You give that man exactly what you want if he was proposing to you. Don't fucking have that nigga the silver badge jump because you already letting me know that you don't even respect that man,
Mm.
and you forcing the wedding on him, and that's crazy. And every time I see a woman on her knees begging a man for proposal is very desperate. Y'all women got a man that listen. I shouldn't be telling y'all this. Like I shouldn't be
And
telling
have
y'all
her
this.
mom pay for
hey, hey. Nah, they're not gonna want a traditional wedding. If they propose to you, your dad gotta pay for it. That's the rule. Cause you proposed to her, her dad is supposed to pay for it. So if she
uh-huh.
proposed to you, your dad now has to pay for it. Or your mom. But whatever the case may be, everything has to be reversed. Like Dennis Rodman style. You gotta have a bachelorette party, and she gotta be the one with the strippers and whatnot, and you gotta be the one that's supposed to be with your girls and doing with your homeboys doing nothing, chilling. Because that's what's happening
No,
now.
that is not what a
Now
bachelorette party. Like,
I'm
let me plan
starting to
your
see.
bachelorette party. That shouldn't be
Don't do
lit.
it because Candy showed us what happens at a bachelorette party with you girls.
Who?
Candy Burrs.
Oh yeah, yeah. It goes down.
Y'all, y'all get out of control.
It goes
However,
down.
a man's bachelor party these days, I went to one and that nigga just stood there and drank beers all night. I was like, y'all ain't got no weed, no nothing. This ain't a damn bachelor party. No strip club, no nothing.
Nah, my man's bachelor party gonna be lit. I'm planning that too. I'm
Now
planning his bachelor party.
you
Like I'm not.
cannot do that.
Why
You
not?
can't
It's gonna
plan.
be lit. I don't have to
No,
know
you
the locations, but I know what I want him to have.
see. Nah, that ain't right. That ain't right. So
His
speaking
last
of,
threesome in life.
so listen, like speaking of which, Michael Blackson, right? You see Michael. You see the new show, Couples Therapy.
Mm-mm. I haven't been watching
Well,
TV.
there's a show, Couple Retreat. It's like couples therapy on VH1. It's hilarious. Michael Blackson is on it with his girlfriend, and that's what they talk about. The fact that Michael Blackson does not want to stop having threesomes, and he had gave her the luxury of selecting his women that she brought back to the bedroom. He says that, and they're now in a quarrel because now he started selecting the women. And she was wondering why was he selecting the women and often bringing sometimes the same woman back multiple times. Well,
Oh,
she felt like it was cheating if he brought back the same woman multiple times,
yes.
and he felt like he didn't have a choice because when she was picking, she wouldn't pick the women with the nice body like she had. She would pick the women with no body. And he said that he doesn't go out looking for women, so he just stayed consistent with the ones that he knew were right instead of going out and looking because that's not his thing. So you cannot pick his party. You have to let one of his friends pick it. One of his best man has to do it because if he picked
I'm
that man to be
not.
his best man,
I'm not
he knows what
insecure
he needs.
and petty. That's insecure and petty. Like, no.
Yeah, but it's not.
That's insecure
It's
and
kind
petty.
of
Like if I
it
plan it,
is.
like he's gonna have a ball. Like he it's gonna be the ball of his life. Like I'm telling you, like trust me,
No,
it's
like
gonna be.
I could just imagine you planning it. Like you sitting there and it's like 10 o'clock and it's like sending a text message. Did they get there yet? Because I see you in work mode and business in party planning mode. You like where
Nah, that's what
is
his friend. That's what his friend gonna do.
strippers gonna
All
change the
I'm
chick?
doing, making sure the strippers is there, making sure at the end of the night they turning his ass out, and he ain't getting no sleep. He gonna be
You like
at the wedding, bloodshot red eyes.
you gonna have
Like,
an itinerary and
babe,
shit.
I
No,
love
you can't set
you, babe. Bro, sorry.
so so I take it you guys will be having an outside wedding.
I don't know. I'm having two weddings.
Would you have a 420 friendly wedding?
No.
Would you have a 420 section at your party after the wedding?
Yeah, my reception, definitely. That's if I'm still
Oh, so
smoking.
it is called the reception. Okay. You know, I
Yeah,
didn't want to call it. I didn't want to call it a reception to be that thing. That's the thing that's after the funeral. I used to actually call weddings funerals.
I think after the funeral is the reception, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it's the
Oh,
repast. The repast.
repass, repass.
I don't know.
Oops.
Honestly, I haven't been to one in years since my little brother. I haven't been to one in
Oh,
years. Oh,
you right.
now what?
You right.
That's crazy. But look
So
though,
a day of
the best part about that though is you would have set the itinerary so you know what time they're supposed to be gone. So if he doesn't show up, you know where to go because you planned it all.
if he doesn't show up, we'll just do it the next day. And then I mean, well, thanks for that, Tony. Now I know the plan. Okay, bachelor party, one day of rest, and then the wedding. Okay, awesome. Got it.
Yeah, you do want to do that. Yeah, you do want to do that. Maybe do the bachelor party a week before, just in case it gets too out of control. Y'all can hash it out and be straight beforehand.
It's not gonna get
Would you
too out
want
of
to?
control.
Would you
And
want to know what
trust
happened at
me,
the bachelor party? Would you want to know?
no, he wouldn't want to know what's happening at mine. I'm not worried at all. He's
Listen,
the
like
one
the
that's going to
crazy.
be
See,
worried.
I'm the, I'm the type of person that's like, hold up, if she planned this for me, what is she doing for herself?
I mean,
Oh,
Jamaica, Barbados, something along those lines.
did you see the photo going around with the girls in went to Cancun that she ended up getting two Mexican dudes to put her in the sandwich and got her in all these weird positions on camera? And they
No,
said
is that on a
the
dance
girl,
floor?
no, they wasn't on the dance floor. They were on the street and just
Were they
posing.
actually doing stuff or just dancing?
No, they were just posing in sexual positions
Oh.
on the boardwalk, I guess, in
Hmm.
Cancun. And they said your girl sends you back these pictures on her trip. How you gonna act?
I mean, girls'
No,
trips be lit.
so look like on a serious note, did you hear about the 27-year-old who punched? Okay, who decided Mr. Corey Ho Pujols Pujols. I don't know. Sounds like a baseball name. However, Mr. Corey Pujols, 27,
Uh
70,
huh.
decided to punch a 77-year-old man in the face for calling him the racial slur, the famous N word that we all hate. He punched this man so hard that he hit the ground, cracked his skull, passed away a day later. Now he's in jail for the. Looks like he may be spending the rest of his life, and they up the charge for manslaughter. Now, what's crazy about this is this happened in Florida, the famous stand your ground state. Now, I'm curious as how Florida, Mr. Stand Your Ground State, chose to come to this charge because they say that there was no physical contact and the man did not impose any threat on Mr. Pujols, just calling him the N word. But I'm reminded of a certain case when a man just was drinking his iced tea and walking through a neighborhood and he was shot and killed and stand your ground was able to be used. Now, I don't know who the legal team is, but something sounds funny going down up in Florida. It sounds like black people don't have the right to stand your ground in Florida, only white people do. So we got to be on top of that. So I just wanted to bring attention to that case because Corey needs some help, guys. So y'all, they got a little petition going on and stuff like that. Y'all keep your ears on that little case right there. Now, did you see on the show $1 Million Game?
Wait, back up. You're not just gonna skate over that because
I'm gonna say over it because
I don't care what color you are. You should not be putting your hands on no elders. Not in that manner. I don't give a damn what they say to you. You know what I'm saying? You talk to them and you keep it moving. You don't put your hands on nobody's elders. No elders. Nobody. No elder. No elder.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
sometimes
he was at
elders
work,
have mental issues. They have them. You don't know. Like you just don't put your hands on the elder. There are better ways to handle that situation. And I hope he gets life. And if they have
but he was at work,
hair or the needle wherever that happened at, I hope he gets that. Like, don't
but he was at work,
no.
Jezebel,
Hmm.
and Corey was at work, and he walked away from them. He walked away from the man several times to the point where the man walked behind the counter and had him in. Had walked behind the counter and had him to the point where no one else stepped in to move that man. He already went to the back. What was he supposed to keep running from this guy?
So this old man was taunting him.
The,
I didn't
the,
watch
we
the
don't
story.
we don't have the footage.
Sorry, y'all.
We don't
I
have the
didn't watch
footage.
the story. I'm just biased against young people
But
beating old people.
but listen, like we're in a whole new world now. We're in the whole like, maybe in the 60s and 70s, old people shouldn't have been beating on people like that. But we're talking about in a world where we saw an old white man shoot a man in the parking lot because the man wanted his parking spot, and this was in Florida, right? And this is a white man shooting a black man because he wanted this man's parking spot that was closer to the store. This
Hold on.
man
So
was an
a white
old white man.
dude, a white
Yeah,
person shot a black person for their pocket spot.
yes. And the reason why that black man was shot and killed is because his mentality was he's old. He's not gonna do nothing. Pow.
I'll
I'm
slay.
sorry. Listen, little kids are not even off limits of catching a hook if they violate your bubble. Because little kids out here are packing and stacking bodies all the same. Unfortunately, I gotta play devil's advocate here, you know? It's not because he's black and it's not because he's young. It's because the fact that the law has been used and molded differently. And if he were white and young and he was attacking an older black man for racial slurs and attacking him at work, they would have said he was defending himself at his job. They would have said that that black man was irate and had no business coming into that job and going behind that counter and badgering and belittling an employee. They would have also said that that property he didn't belong back there, and if he hadn't been back there, he would have never had those consequences happen to him because that's a family of ground. And they would have also said that this little white boy was timid and scared for his life and stood his ground. So that's my position. I don't care, old, black, white, nothing. I care about the facts that the precedent has been set. And I say that if there's a precedent that's been set, if you put that thing in play, you got to let it play out all the way around, all the way around. And it's a shame. It's a shame. The only thing that separates us black people from getting our just dues is affordability in the legal system. That's
Okay.
what's terrible.
All
Because
right.
if
I
he
get
had a good lawyer, if he had a big lawyer, a good lawyer, do you think that it wouldn't even have went this far? Mind you, over a damn donut. You can call him a fucking cracker. Um, he can call him a fucking Nazi. He can call him a fucking, all types of terms that we know are horrible to be using towards people. So like, there's a lot of things that you can say to white people that will piss them off. Shit, white people hate when you call them racist. White people
hmm
get crazy and be like, "You fucking racist." They're like, "What? What? What? Me?"
that's a real. That's the real shit. Try
I'm
it.
like,
That's some real shit.
I'm like, well, so their fear level. I mean, let's just be real, Tony. With the question, there's white people are able to use a look as a fear. He looks intimidating.
hmm
They can literally say our face scared him. He looked angry when he came up here. Oh my God. They were like, "Are you okay, Bill? You okay, Billy?" He looked angry. Ah, let's let's get this guy PTSD and therapy. A black guy came up looking angry. I don't have to take this shit. You know what I've been through? I mean, look, when I read that case, I first thought to myself, wait a minute, 27-year-old punches a 77-year-old and kills him. Let me read this. This shit crazy. It just says that the old man, let me see if I got his name up in here. Oh, dude. Nah, I didn't even put his name in. But It says that he started at the drive-through going ham on Mr. Pujols. Then he went, parked his car, came into the establishment, and finished going ham. And he said he was asked leave. He started calling them all types of racial slurs, and he was saying back up, back up, back up. Say it again. They said that he yelled, say it again, and they heard the man hit the floor. Now,
That is not funny.
the way I see it, you can't get hit if you ain't close enough to. That's his hat. So we gotta keep an eye on that case because like I said, man, Florida is a shitty law state, man. The way them laws were done is very shitty. It's kind of as bad as Georgia. Like Georgia is bad too, guys. Like with the laws, it's very shitty. Like it's amazing. I found out that a person can go to jail for about 10 years for an edible here.
For where? Where?
In Georgia, it's a felony up to 10 years for an edible.
What do you mean?
An edible weed brownie can get you 10 years in prison.
Ooh, I don't under how would they catch you? I mean, so if you're pulled over and you got an edible in your car, you can go to jail for up to 10 years.
Okay, so let me put this clear. You would go to jail for up to 10 years. Not could. If they pull you over and you have a weed brownie in your car,
Hmm.
you would go to jail for up to 10 years.
The reason I couldn't believe it is because we just had one coming through the airport into Atlanta, crushing them joints. Hey,
So, like, what's
yo,
crazy?
we was crushing them joints like it was legal, guys. Let me get a piece of that.
Like, let me tell you, like, what's crazy is Atlanta is like Baltimore to Maryland,
Okay.
right? Atlanta to Georgia is like Baltimore to Maryland, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like their mayors and their county officials in Atlanta give them a little bit more leeway because celebrities and a lot of money is coming in and out. And in these places, and from these places, their laws are different, right? So they
Oh.
give them a lot of leeway, but let you been coming outside of Atlanta with that, let you got caught in like a county like Fayette County, you know what I'm saying, or somewhere like Cobb County or something like that. Wow. You know what I'm saying? So it's amazing.
Yeah.
And listen, like what's crazy is that's the setup of life because the beauty of it is if you get caught with weed in Atlanta or Georgia, it's just a fine, a little immediately ticket. But if you get caught with a weed brownie, it's clean clean.
That don't make no sense.
Same thing I said. I had to actually go to the legislation to read that myself, guys. So that's a little bit of knowledge for everybody that didn't know that. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm trying to tell y'all, that's a little bit of knowledge for you. That's some really good knowledge for you.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So so Jezebel,
Yes.
I gotta talk about this, and then I want to get into this big topic that I want to talk about after this. But do you believe? Well, I don't want to ask you, do you believe? While I was watching YouTube this weekend, because like I said, this weekend was very crazy. There was a certain podcast, and the podcast is called Fresh and Fit, right? I'm watching this podcast, and I'm merely entertained because of the title. The title is "Bad Bitches Bring Inspiration." So I said to myself, "This is an interesting title. Why do bad bitches bring inspiration?" So when I
As
clicked
they
on it,
bring, it says that they do bring inspiration.
yes.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
I gotta know more context. What do they mean? Like I understand, like
I'm
good
glad you.
looking.
I'm glad you asked. I'm glad you asked, Jezebel. So this woman guest on the show, she proceeded to say, women that are bad bitches only need provide inspiration to a man.
Mm-hmm.
They don't need to provide anything else because real men, real millionaires and
Mm-hmm.
billionaires don't like their women smart and don't like their women ambitious.
Mm-hmm.
However, that was totally misleading from the title, right? That was just the catch me in because her saying that opened up a very interesting conversation. Now, she didn't know that she was actually speaking to a millionaire. Another guest that was on the show was actually a millionaire. And he asked her what was her education level. You know, she said that she was a finance major and she was the finance manager for the Clippers. And she realized after dating a couple of rich men that they didn't care that she did that. And by her being bad and inspiring them, they would take care of her, get her whatever she wanted, and do whatever she needed to get done. He says that that's a weak man's mentality. Lame guys who become millionaires have influenced women to believe
Mm-hmm.
that their looks or their attributes have somehow shifted our mentality that we don't that we're not interested in that when we make it to a certain level. Now I don't know because I'm not a millionaire, you
Mm-hmm.
know, but it's interesting to think, do like you said earlier in the show, guys now are expecting women to be like the breadwinner and shit like that, right? And I guess that would be like on our level where you're like under 100,000 a year, you know? It's like, yeah, maybe those guys are, but are the millionaire guys expecting their women to be just looks?
I would say guys that do have a lot of money, it depends on their upbringing. Because I do know some men that literally don't want their women to work. Like,
Mm-hmm.
would just like want you to just be cute and wait for them to, actually, do you need something? Yeah, I need this, So I don't know. But I know
I
I've
gotta
come
say,
across guys.
I gotta say, as a man, this may this may be off Keeper, and this may be just me. But I feel like any man that does not want his woman to work or, just do the normal things of the world, expand herself and learn and expand, he's afraid of losing her.
I wouldn't say they don't want their women to work, but they don't care if you do. They rather you be supportive and, like, hey, come here or show up for this dinner or, stuff like that. They don't really need you to be smart. They just need you to be supportive because if you're too into yourself, what are you putting out for them?
And that's an interesting concept because I did see a piece this weekend that said something very much so similar to that. That that's what guys are really want, someone that they know can support them, a piece that can be there and not focus on himself. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, that was Kevin Samuels. He did say that.
You've been
He
listening
did.
to this guy a lot, huh?
Listen, let me tell you something. So I hit the like and subscribe button, right? Because I realized I like people that I like people that give me stuff to talk about on a daily basis that like challenge me to think, right?
Mm-hmm.
And with the podcast that Kevin Samuels does, if it really like everyone that knows me, if you know me, I'm a psyche person, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a person that I believe that the one thing that will always connect us or be our test of who we really are is our psyche.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the one thing that we can't never really change. No matter what our status is, no matter how far we go, it's like that saying you can take a man out the ghetto, but you can't stop it from being ghetto, right? That's really the psyche in which you're developed. Your psyche never changes, no matter what your environments are. So when I look at Kevin Samuels, I watch how he says a lot of words, but really he's just addressing the psyche of
Mhm.
men or the psyche of women without saying that. Because if he just says that, then the show's over,
Right.
right? Oh, that's just the psyche of men. Show's over. That's the psyche of women. Show's over. But you put it in a lot of words, and you watch how people's psyche revert back to
Mm.
the psyche of people. It's like
Yeah.
because these are not when we're coming up in this world and when we're trying to do our thing, we get lost, right?
Mhm.
We get our psyche confused based on what people tell us we need. It's like
Mhm.
when you say it starts when you're a little kid. They start trying to mold that psyche to you. When you in class, they ask you that question: "What do you want to be when you grow up?" You know what I'm saying? And every kid stands up there proud because they think that that's the moment that you get to be boastful and tell everybody what your dreams are. But that's really the moment where they're trying to tag you. And they're going to
Mm.
start telling you, well, if you want to be a doctor, you know what you got to do. You got to do this. You got to do that. You got to do this. They're already trying to mold your psyche to think what a doctor does. If you want to go to the NFL, are you eating your vegetables? You getting strong. You practicing. Things like that. It's because they know if you don't get these things in your psyche early, you're never gonna care. Whatever your psyche molds you is how you run. So when people, a lot of people get so caught up in life happening, right? Where it's like, oh, I want to be a superstar. Let's say I want to be an NFL. Then you realize the NFL ain't happening. Oh, I want to go to the army. The army don't work out. I'm gonna work at this job. Oh, I get this job. That's you know what I'm saying. Oh, now I want to be a manager at this job. Oh, this job sucks. I want to try to get this other job. And every day, and every phase of your life, someone is molding your psyche to tell you ain't gonna get that job unless you do this. You ain't gonna be able to do that unless you do this, bruh. Yeah, and
Mm.
now you getting lost. You don't know. You don't
Yeah.
know. So you need somebody to bring you back to bring you back in the reality. Like, okay, what do you really want to do though? Like, no, like where do you really want to go?
Mhm.
What did you really do? And like when you watch these shows, like that's when I listen to stuff like that, it molds my mind to think like, our psyche, boy. If you could get your psyche to be back trained on where it was when you really wanted to be where you wanted to be, you'll
Mhm.
probably find yourself in a whole lot more peaceful state. Because most of the time, if you're not, if you're feeling like you're not where you want to be, it's because someone told you what you needed to do to get there, and
Uh-huh.
you didn't get it done. So now you're like, shit, I'm not shit. I'm fucking up. But it's crazy because we got so many stories that they read to us as kids that tells you there's no other way to do it but to keep going. Just keep going. Just keep going. Little engine that could. Slow and steady wins the race. I mean, I can keep on going, right? This is because if you grasp these things younger, you were the leaders of the future. You were the ones that they set up to be the leaders of the new school. But if you didn't catch them, they started putting you, oh yeah, look, look, look. The ones that kept sending the school suspension, they in jail all day now. They
Mhm.
love it. They already started molding that in their head. They go to jail, they cool with it. The
Yeah.
kids they set, the kids they always made sit by themselves, and kids always didn't want us to be socialized. They're in cubicles somewhere, in offices somewhere. I mean, this is all that we was since we was thought about, before we was hatched. You know, this is before we was hatched. So like when I watch these shows, I'm watching them, and I'm like, all right, cool. So then those are leading me to other shows, and I watch like I stumbled across that Fit podcast because I'm sitting there thinking to myself, all right, bad women only need to provide inspiration, and I'm like, damn, do bad women provide inspiration though? You know, like I mean, like, and why can't a non-bad woman provide inspiration? So I'm like, really, that's where it was like confusing to me. Like, are they really providing inspiration in this world today? Is it really inspiring to know that my girl is bad, but everybody can click on it, everybody can see it?
Well, when I guess what she's saying is when men reach a certain level, you don't really need somebody as far as financially. You don't need someone to help you build. You're already built, so you kind of just need a woman that's going to be supportive. And whether she's bad or ugly, that depends on the man and what he wants. But I think being cute or being looking good, does help.
I believe that inspiration comes from within. Like you said, it has to be what is he inspired by? I mean, hey, so it's interesting. But
Having a woman on a yacht, like some men, they just want, especially when they get money that they haven't had, they want a certain type of woman and they just want you just to be there.
it's crazy because that seems like why, and it seems like how a lot of relationships be like a lot of people that be a certain way when they are on the come up don't be with the same girl that they with when they make it. What did he say about exclusive? Really get my work done. Yeah, see, and I wonder what you do now for a living, Tony. But it's amazing because I really never went to in-school suspension. I had to get in-school suspension one time. They sent me in there, and I found out that the guy that I was fighting, he didn't get it. So I walked out, and they tried to make me go back, and I called my mom, and I was like, "Mom, they're trying to make me do in-school suspension by myself, and they're saying that I got to do it, and he doesn't have to do it." And she was like, "Why?" And when she asked her why, their explanation was not sufficient enough. So I didn't do in-school suspension ever. You know, um, eat that.
Yeah, active food for a
Yeah.
living.
See, perfect, perfect, perfect. In-school suspension molded you for this path that we're on right now, acting the fool, cutting up. So what's amazing to me is I'm watching another podcast, right, Jezebel, and this one it was really just like a clip that got sent to me, um, and it was surfacing all over Instagram. But it was $1 million game. That is Gilly and
Mm,
Wallow, right? And I saw Young Dolph on this clip, and he
yeah.
broke down what it takes for a hit to be delivered. And the
Mm,
reason why that stuck out to me on this show in particular is because when I listened to J. Cole's album, and that
hmm.
first song, he really went in on the machine, right?
Okay.
And I'm thinking to myself, Young Dolph gets on $1 million worth of game, and he kind of explains
What the fuck? What the fuck be happening? Like, what? What the fuck be happening? Like, yeah, it was definitely a good episode, y'all. What the fuck be happening?
now, I told y'all at the beginning of this show that I did not want to talk about the machine because they would cut us off. Did I not say that? So when I said that, I knew that this was going to be a tough show. But when Young Dolph got on there and said that, and J. Cole decided to get on his show, his album, first song, first track, Smack Dab Go at the Machine. I said to myself, that young Dolph interview looks mighty interesting right now because
Mhm.
now we know J. Cole has millions of dollars. We know he has a record label. We know the Columbia Record Master. We know that they're going to put money behind every project he does. No matter what J. Cole thinks or does, or what type of money he puts behind his own project, these labels are going to work the machine for J. Cole, right? Whatever his budget is, it could be a lot of money. So Young Dolph says that it takes $250,000 to $1 million to break a record and make it a hit. Well, what's a hit? I ask you, or you ask me, or we ask we. Well, a hit is simply that. One of those songs that just can't get out your head. Bop, 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 ba ba da ba da. Like that, right? That is
This shit.
always going to be a hit.
Oh.
That's shit, right? You remember that shit? That's my shit. I ain't gonna lie. Hanson, come on back, Hanson. Come on back. Give us one more. But when you talk about these artists that came out, and even a new artist talk about their budgets and how they do it, they are really making a whole wave, and every artist now is investing in their own marketing, in their own machine, in the way that they move, in the way that they do things. And like a lot of you artists out there, you look at it and you're like, what's the machine? How can I get a part of the machine? I don't have $250,000, so I'm not gonna never make it. Well, you don't have $250,000 now, and they didn't have $250,000 when they started, and that's why they grinded so long. You realize
Mhm.
Trippie Redd is finally dropping his debut album, but it seems like Trippie Redd got like 5 albums right now, but this one is called his debut album. Very interesting, very interesting. But y'all gotta ask yourselves, what is it all about? Well, it's about that keyword. I keep telling y'all, budget. But that word shouldn't intimidate y'all because you set your budget.
Mm.
Now, I'm not gonna sit up there and tell you that you ain't gotta pay nothing. You ain't gotta invest anything in your career. I mean, I'd be lying to you. You know what I'm saying? Let's just say that you don't pay the machine. You're an artist that believes that the machine is fake. Okay? I want to just talk to you. I want to sit here and I want to talk to you, the artist that believes that the machine is fake. Well, what are you going to put your investments into? I can tell you what you're going to put your investments into because I already know. There's no other way around it. You're going to go out there, you're going to start paying for shows because you're going to think that these shows are going to get you on. And you're going to pay whatever they ask you because you're going to be deep to pay to open up for these artists, to do all this other stuff. You're going to also be paying a lot of money to go into studios and put out a lot of music and do a lot of music. And guess what? You're probably not going to drop it, or you're going to drop it with someone who's using the machine and they're going to eat off of it, right? Or if you don't drop it, don't use the machine, it's just going to sit there. You're going to spend a lot of money on that project and it's just going to sit there. But then you guys that like to say, okay, I get out, I got a lot of friends, I meet a lot of people. Okay, cool, 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 cool. Well, you drive from city to city. You do a show in every little club that you go to, and you're trying to yell out, download my shit, listen to my music. Ooh. You may get one or two a night, 1 or 2 followers a night. Well, that means that you got to do that for 365 days a year just to get almost 1,200 followers and shit like that, right? So then that means
Mhm.
you're going to be investing a lot more money in getting around to do that for 365. Yet, all the while, none of this is coming back because what are you investing in yourself? Because I mean, let's just be real. If you're doing a stream a day, if you got 365 followers, and if you got 3,600 followers, let's just say 3,600 followers. what type of revenue do we really think is being brought in from that? You know, I had an artist tell me I got my BMI check. And I was like, that's what's up, dog. I said, well, if you're making your BMI checks, then you must be doing something right. And I said, shoot, like, are you getting all your publishing and are you getting all of your writers and and all of your shows and stuff registered? He says, I don't know, but I know I just got a check. And I said, well, when when you got your check, like, what did you do with it? Did you put it back into another project? Did you like, invest it back into something to do something else? No, not really. I didn't really do anything. I just, used it, just chilled on it. And I'm like, well, how you re up? That's street talk. I always talk that street talk. I'm sorry, I can't get the hustler out of me. But I'm like, how you re up if you spend all your money? How you expect to do it again? If you did a tour, if you did a series of shows, and you got paid for those series of shows, and they allowed you to make that amount of money, why didn't you think of, all right, let me do two of these then? Or let me do this three times more, four times more? Where's the hunger level? Where's the grind? So that you can invest and make this thing, you know what I'm saying, what you're looking for. Because a lot
Right.
of us get discouraged and run right into the workforce and run right to the man, and then we start sitting back hating on rappers and hating on these new artists and hating on all these people that actually using the system and doing what the system is supposed to do because you didn't want to do it. Now you work, now you strap on your boots every day and you sit back at home and you get on old book and you hate on artists.
Not old book though.
That's what they do. And look, like the sad part about it is, I ask people all day, because that's what I do. I advocate for not just, I don't just advocate for music because, like I said, I wasn't a fan of music when I was younger, right?
Right.
Actually, I hated music when I was younger. I think I didn't actually get into like actual music until I was about, I had to be in about the ninth or 10th grade, you know. And I went to, how you had those little little parties or like when they giving you the candy drive fundraiser joints, and you go there to get your fundraiser pack, and they get you all excited and whatnot, a little assembly, right? So I get
Okay.
in the assembly. I'm in like the 10th grade, and when I walk in the assembly, there's a DJ on stage, and there's all these toys and all this fun stuff. And I'm like, whoa, this is a fun day. The DJ
Mhm.
starts playing the music, and I'm thinking maybe me and about three other kids was the only people that did not know any of the music on the DJ's playlist, right? So what I did was I immediately, because I mean, let's just face it, I'm in the 10th grade. All the girls are singing these songs, and I don't know not one of them. And I'm realizing that the guys that do know the songs, it's easier for them to get in and sing along with them and shit. They was all having a good time, and I'm like, damn, I can't even get in with the damn sing along since I don't know these songs. So I went home and actually I asked one of the girls, "Who's this artist? Who's this artist? Who's this artist?" I went home and bought every one of their CDs, right? And I started listening to them, and listening to them, and listening to them, and listening to them, so that the next time there was an assembly, I would know the songs. See, I didn't go to house parties and all that stuff like that, right? But I'm what they say is I'm an attention junkie. I don't like to be left out of the party. So I felt left out with everybody knowing this music and me not knowing it. So I started studying it, and I didn't like it. Right? I didn't care for it. My twin brother, on the other hand, and my little brother, they loved it. I mean, they had the Biggie, the Little Wayne CDs, the Goody Mobs, and all this good stuff, right? I mean, all this stuff, right? I mean, I just was like, what is this? I remember when I got my first car and I went to go pick up Steph, who's now my wife. I went and picked her up, and I didn't have any music, and we were just riding around. And she's like, "Okay, you're not gonna play no music," and I was like, "I mean, like you can play the radio, I don't know what else to play." My radio was like sounding like shit, what I'm saying, like that, right? So I was like, all right, took her back home, went to my brother's house. I said, bro, I need a CD player and CDs in my car, right? He gave me a CD book. He gave me a CD book with all these CDs in it. It was like Pastor Troy, Baller Blocking, um,
Yes,
and a couple of
yes.
other CDs, right? Um, yeah, it was Baller Blocking. It was Pastor Troy's Face Off. I'm trying to remember the ones that I played all the time because I remember I liked them, right? But what I ended up happening is I fell in love with the Baller Blocker CD, so I knew that I liked that style of music as opposed to the other stuff that he let me hear. I think I heard vice versa on the Pastor Troy CD. I was like, oh, this is hard. I like this. This is cool, But everything else still wasn't really like did not never really catch me. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
Then, like I tell everybody, when I heard Kanye West, that changed my whole mind, right? That's 2004. So I tell everybody I'm still got like new to the music because even then I was like, all right, I like Kanye. I don't like this other stuff.
So
And then
who
in
did you
2000,
listen to before that? Like who did you listen
so
to if you didn't like the southern, southern.
before music, before music, before I hit 16 and started listening to music, I would listen to nothing but Jerry Rice talks and Jerry Rice motivations and Jerry Rice workout videos, right? I will also watch a lot of like quarterbacks and workout stuff like that. So I was really like I said,
Not
when I
even
was
on
a
the
kid,
radio? You didn't know who you liked on the radio growing up, like as a kid?
nah, I didn't ever really get a chance to like my parents, we grew up very Christian, right?
Okay.
So my mom, if it was on the radio, it was gospel, you know. And of course, I wasn't really the gospel type, but of course, my mom made us all sing in church. We
Hmm.
all sang in church. We all did all that
Any
stuff.
gospel
So,
artists that you like growing up?
oh yeah, Kirk Franklin was the man.
Yeah.
I think that he was the closest one that I was like, okay, cool. This is not church music, but it's church music. You know, John P. Key, stuff like that. Well, like, I was about to say Jay Money Gibbs because he put that right there. With Hey Skywalker. What's crazy about David Banner is David Banner had that one good project to me that I liked. And afterwards, it was like, yeah, like whatever, same stuff, right? But it was more so like the music that I liked, you know. Then what ends up, so that's what I was always moved by, the music. I think I was moved by Kurt Franklin because the music and the performances was always crazy. Plus, true story, my mom used to sing background with Kurt Franklin and stuff like that, and a couple of other big time gospel singers. And she still do so. Sing not with Kurt Franklin, but she still sing with other gospel groups that are big, Stella dominated and all that stuff. So gospel was all that we listened to, and when I did get a chance to listen to, definitely not Ludacris, um, but it's more so the music moved me. You know what I'm saying? Like that baller blocking sound, that baller blocking music. Bling bling. Every time we ever bling, I felt like, ooh, now this is a rock to it. You know what I'm saying? Because when I was hearing everything else, it was hardcore. You know what I'm saying? Like with my cousins, they would listen to like Scarface, and
Yeah.
things like that. With my other like on my father's side, they would be listening to more of the Tupac stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, cool. So I always hear, you always hear those things like that. So you get that concept of, all right, this is what rap is. Some grungy, some kill shit. And then actually what made me really scared of rap was the Crossroads video when I was about 6 or 7 years old. I'm like,
Maybe
oh,
also.
yeah, that Crossroads video had me like, yeah, away from rap. Like rap is stay away from it, right? But like I said, when I got to the 10th grade and I realized that I needed to learn this, music. I needed to learn music because it was what my peers was doing. I started trying to listen to it, and then as once I started dating and got with my wife, I realized that she was into music. I started listening to it, and that's actually how I heard Kanye West. And I was like, "Oh, you ain't got to be a gangster to rap." You know what I'm saying? Like this is way better. You can ride to this. You know what I'm saying? Definitely not those two. You know.
Mhm.
So definitely don't listen to MJG and 8 Ball. They had that one song. You don't
No, they
what
had a whole
what?
it was it called Orange Mound? That whole Project Rock. I had it chopped and screwed, but it rocked. I love chopped and
Like
screwed music.
2017 and 2018 was the biggest my music catalog had ever expanded, right?
Uh-huh.
And that's kind of what molded the whole change in me. Now, if I had to pick an artist that I would was listening that I would listen to or could listen to, I would people would not even believe my artist. I mean, I would rather listen to Stevie Wonder and Smokey Robinson than anything. You know, but one thing about me that I've always done, even when I hear a song, I would always put my own words into it. Everyone would say things like, "Yo, why do you keep on remixing these people's songs? Why do you keep on adding your own words? Why aren't you saying what they're saying?" And I'm like, "This sounds better. This sounds better. You know, this sounds better." And like I told this story several times, once I started working security, I just started writing. You know, but I still didn't understand what the game was and how to make it. You know, and we don't understand that, so we get discouraged, we quit, we travel around, but now all this information is out here for us how to make it, and it's like all this information is for us how to walk and live like the lifestyle that we want, and it's like,
Mhm.
all right, we're not thinking that we're not making it because of the psyche that was put in our head by everyone who ain't done it, who don't do it, can't do it, won't do it, telling you you gotta do this, you gotta do that. You don't have this, you ain't gonna be this. You don't have this, you ain't gonna be this. So now you put the level of success in your head at the wrong level to doubt your own self to get right back on the hamster wheel. So now that we know that now that we know, we've heard from a big celebrity rapper, Young Dolph, that you have to find a way to get your budget right to make way in this game. We heard from an artist like J. Cole on another album that artists are out here with budgets. Artists are out here spending their money on marketing, spending their money on other ploys and plots and plans, and changing the game very fast. And he's disgusted by it because he realized this is why J. Cole is disgusting people because he had to work at a time when he didn't know about this and he busted his ass and he worked and he had money. He wasn't like one of those poor kids, right? He had money. If someone would have told him, "Damn, bruh, all I had to do was pay y'all this, and I could have been, I ain't had to do all that crazy boot camp shit type feel." That's how J. Cole taking it. You know? So we looking at J. Cole like, oh, he's trying to expose people. No, he jelly. He mad because he wished that he would have known this and he wouldn't have had to go through what he went through. And now all this information is put out there for y'all by here at Boss Biz Radio. Because what we're gonna do is try to make sure that y'all have it. Now it's no excuse for y'all. Because J. Cole acknowledges that it's happening, that's why all the artists are blowing up. Young Dolph, he let y'all all know that this side has to be. So
Mhm.
now y'all ain't heard it from me. Y'all heard this from two big rappers. Well, I told y'all what they said, but y'all know they said it because y'all got the projects and y'all got the video, you know. But
Mhm.
this is what I'm trying to tell y'all. We are not battling each other. The fight isn't the fight isn't going into these shows and battling each other. We just gotta get our shit together.
Now
And
I
we're
want to
both
touch on something that Dolph said. So they asked him if he would take a deal, if he would sign a major deal, and he was like no. And they said for 22 million, and he was like no. It's not the fact that he said no, it's why he said no that caught my attention. He said that you don't know what I already have planned. And what's the difference between you giving me 22 million today and me making 22 million over a span of 6 to 12 months? So patience, I guess, is what I learned from him is like, that's why he's standing his ground. Like, I'm going to build my worth and my money's going to come regardless. I don't have to take it from you and in turn change anything or give you anything when I can kind of keep it all to myself if I'm just
And I
patient.
want y'all, and that is 100% correct. I need y'all to understand something, y'all. That comes with because Young Dolph was misleading to y'all a little bit. He has major backing that backs his label. He does not have a major deal that says Young Dolph, but he has a major deal that backs his record label paper route, right? And that allows you to move. So when he asks, well, so when we asked him why would he sign for 22 million, of course he wouldn't, because he has artists underneath of him that he can get 22 million and not have to do anything, right? So that's the game, and that's what we got to try to teach y'all, like how to really get the game popping, because it's definitely levels to success. You know what I'm saying? And one level of success measures the importance of your group, and I need y'all to understand that the level of success that you reach measures the level of the success of your group. So if you're feeling like you're down and you're not in the right place, change your group, change your core, and get yourself together, man. 'Cause that's what it is. So I gotta tell y'all right now, it's time for the Hustlers. Now, y'all, I usually don't like to do this, right? But I had to take a little trip, and I had to go and get some stuff off the rip. And I was like, okay, okay, I'm gonna take a little trip down Flint. And I went down on Flint, y'all. And I hope that I'm not being too hot, but I went down on Flint, y'all, and everybody was down there like, I got some trees, I got some trees, I got some trees. And this is the first time I felt like I was in a smorgasbord of trees, right? So I had to go ahead. I got some sour patches, and I got this strand called Funky Monkey, right?
Monkey,
Now,
monkey.
Funky Monkey, it stunk. It stunk bad, right? Now, I'm hitting the Sour Patch Kids because I was super excited about that, and it was amazing. And then
Mm-hmm.
I got into the Funky Monkey, and I started to get in the funk. Not only was it just funky, but there was a lot of monkey business going around. I wasn't getting high at all. I was actually feeling like, what am I doing? Why is these ones doing this? And I knew that I didn't like it when I had a whole half an ounce of it left, and I still went and bought more bud.
A half an ounce, and it was what? What was wrong with it? It was Huff.
Now it was hop, 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 don't want none of that. Won't get it no more. And y'all want to know something? I went back to that store to get some roll-ups, and the guy saw me. He said, "Yeah, yeah, it's been a minute. What's up, bro? I ain't seen you in a minute." I said, I know." He said, "I know that last package wasn't all that." I said, "Oh, I know. Oh, I know." He said, "I swear I got some new shit. That's fine, bro. Fuck with me." And I said, oh no, I'm straight. I still got what you gave me last time." You know what I'm
I would have
saying?
been like, can I trade that shit?
You know, like I told y'all, I figured out that's the thing they do down here. But I refuse to be corn and let me become that guy. So I'll just save it for emergencies. It'll probably give me some nights if I ever take some L's in Call of Duty too much and I gotta smoke while I play, or if I'm taking some L's in the 2K and then I gotta smoke while I play, or if I'm just utterly blown because something not going my way, or if maybe my bank account may get a little low one day and I have to go and resort to it. So I'll just keep it. It's okay to keep it in the cut. Guys, it's okay to keep weed in the cut. If weed is bad, what I've learned, put it in the mason jar, and on days when you don't have none, it'll be the best you ever had. Not because it's changed, but because you don't have none and no way to get none. So that's what I'm saying, guys. Be appreciative of what you got. So, Jezebel, Now
Sick.
I was gonna say something about Takashi 69 trolling Lil Reese, but then I utterly remembered that Lil Reese don't play talking shit about him on nobody's show, so I'm gonna leave it alone. But
I
what you
really
got
do
coming
want
up?
it. Oh, you want to leave it alone? But I want to know, like, that's. I mean,
So Takashi 69 started a GoFundMe to get this dude Lil Reese a car now.
I saw that. I saw that.
Yes,
Now,
listen. Oh
and the
my God,
fact
that's the king
and
of
the
trolling.
fact that he said that Laura Reese got hit before, was it
He said you stole
Quando?
the wrong people's car.
Yeah.
But
So
we gotta wait until that whole thing comes out because there's so many stories surfacing around. I don't want to give any false news, but allegedly this is just a bad tree deal gone wrong. And if that's the case,
that
then
tree deal
we
went
gotta
wrong.
get the deal, man. A bad tree deal gone wrong. So we're gonna figure this out, man. We're gonna figure this out. What you got coming up? What you got coming up, Jezebel?
Just a hard work week. Nothing really to be looking out for, you guys.
Well, y'all already know anybody that's not a part or have not joined success.com, y'all need to go to success.com and join my mailing list, right? I need y'all to join my mailing list, get the free single, exclusive single before the album drops. Get that. Y'all, Boss Biz Radio. We about to do some crazy shows coming up, guys. I realize I haven't had a guest on this show in a minute, and I'm working on a really crazy guest that's gonna be really wild. Now I
A
told
death?
y'all, no more Facebook guys, no more Facebook guests, no more you old guys.
Yes.
Stay out of my inbox. They keep on being in my inbox. Let me interview me, bro. Interview me, bro. Interview me, bro. No, you're not doing that over here, Boss Biz
No
Radio.
more Facebook people.
This is a legitimate.
You can't
This
block
is a
out the
legitimate
Facebook people.
establishment. This is a legitimate establishment. If I can't check your work and your stuff out there, man, you can't not be in my inbox. Please don't be in my inbox if I can't check your work out there and I can't check your catalog and if I can't see where you've been, what you're doing, and if you don't use Instagram or any other sites, please do not hit me up because that's just horrible. And Tony, hey, we gonna bring Tony on here. He keeps talking that trash. We gonna Tony on here. But yeah, man. So Jezebel, like that's all I got working on. I want all y'all to do that. All Biz Radio each and every Monday. Y'all already know. Hit that subscribe button down below, down there. And at this time, y'all already know y'all should be having them roaches, putting them ashtrays out, and going ahead and getting ready to roll another one. Cause I am, and we out.
Bye, y'all.